Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, and the audience. I want to report on the lawsuit that challenged our general plan, as well as a settlement that has ended the lawsuit and will allow us to go forward to continue the development in the city. Back in mid-2010, the City Council approved the amendment to the general plan and the EIR in support of that. A couple of months later, we were sued by this organization called Citizens for Responsible Equitable Environment Development, which is abbreviated as CREED. And they filed a lawsuit, and they challenged the environmental impact report on 11 different grounds. The matter did go to hearing. The judge found that 3 of the grounds were valid and 8 were not. From our perspective, the city had a great victory because there were all these other bases that were not meritorious, that were challenged, that we had to defend. Of the 3, there were only 2 that were particularly important that the judge upheld as being inadequate of elements in the EIR. One was that it was believed that the analysis of the green gas emissions was not proper, and also that our analysis of air quality impacts on sensitive receptors was not proper. Sensitive receptors are children and elderly citizens who may be subject to poor air quality near the freeway. So because of that, you know, we had a dilemma in front of us. The dilemma was that we could continue the litigation, but that would have meant a couple of things that would have been very difficult for the city. One, the environmental impact report in the general plan would have been invalidated, and we'd have to start all over, meaning that development in the city would stop, and meaning that we'd have to undergo a second process to revise the general plan and actually change the environmental impact report. Obviously, that would have been expensive. So given that dilemma, we immediately jumped into settlement mode, and we talked to the CREED organization and their lawyer about settling it. We were able to come together on a settlement. And the settlement has a couple of elements which I want to describe, as well as the benefits of the settlement. One is that the city only has to amend the general plan in 2 respects versus potentially 11. The other one is that it's not going to be necessary for the city to amend the environmental impact report. And that's big because since we're not going to be subject to a judgment, we can continue development as we have. Unfortunately, because they were successful, even though only on 3 out of 11 challenges, the city became subject to attorney's fees. And based on how courts award attorney's fees, we're looking at nearly $400,000 in attorney's fees, but we're able to settle that amount for $215,000. Now, because we entered into a settlement agreement, we're actually in the process of implementing that settlement agreement. And one aspect of it occurred last night at the Planning Commission. We took one amendment pertaining to sensitive receptors last night to the Planning Commission, which was approved. That'll come before the council. There's another element we need to do, and that'll go before the Planning Commission and come back to the council. Once that's done, the lawsuit will be dismissed in March. But what it means is that the general plan and the EIR are not invalidated. It means that the city can continue to develop. It means that the city can implement the changes without a judgment. It means that the city can implement what's called the Climate Action Plan, which is the method chosen to ascertain that the effect of greenhouse gas emissions would be addressed. And we're going to address that by joining the plan that Sandbag is in the process of developing it. Also, the cost of going forward is much less because we don't have to go through the process. We eliminate attorney's fees, and the litigation has come to an end. Those are the benefits, and I just want to report to you that it's really behind us. We should have this done by mid-March, and at that point in time, the lawsuit will be dismissed, and this is behind us, and we can move forward with the development of the city of Chino as set forth in our general plan. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Jimmy.